Prime example here, you see, of this depression here, what I believe to be a mining depression. So the small hollows in this area for coal and for burning or for making charcoal as well. So just small pits, and they've obviously just been swallowed up over time by the rest of the wood. So we climb now up into the bottom end of Sheep House Wood, and as you can see, there's fern everywhere. There's lots of bramble, as you'd always expect, wild bramble. But of course this time of year now, mid-November, we're not really seeing the proliferation of plants that normally would come up in spring. But you've got the hollies, lots of holly in this woodland. So the variation is what you're looking for, I believe. And I'm not pretending to be a specialist. This is information I've just gathered for this channel. But there's also, quite interestingly, quite a few larches in this woodland as well. So I don't know if at one time of day they just self-seeded. I think they must have, because they're huge, or whether they were planted to be managed. But there's little stands of them dotted about. Now I don't know enough about larch as to whether they just self-seed. I would imagine after a certain age they will do, and move from, because larch is an introduced plant from Scandinavia. So the other beauty as well is these deep ravines in Sheep House Wood, which carry water obviously from the top, the hillside above. real deep ravines, gorged out since the last ice age, and probably before as well. Mabel's found a ball. So fairly regularly I will see roe deer in this wood. I've not seen any other breed, but they're the second largest breed of deer behind the red deer in the UK. But roe deer seem to use this wood regularly. It's another good sign if you've got deer in your woodland, and badger. Good sign that it's an old woodland. And I've been plotting and vlogging this wood for a good few years now, on and off. So if you want to have a little look at different seasons, please scroll back and have a look. You see the Scotch pines here. Big Scotch pine, I believe, there, that one. I think it is, but again, I'm not entirely sure. So we climb up, from the old railway line there, we climb up fairly steeply, about a 25% gradient, I would say. Oh, see, there's a larch there, and that is just huge. So my next thing as well is to find out who actually owns the land that this woodland is on. I saw something last night on my online searches which suggested it was owned by the local council. But I believe at one time of day it was owned by the local steelworks, who would have used it and managed it. And that's evident by this old track. There's an old track here with old bricks in. So these have been thrown down to make a track. Probably waste material from the steelworks locally. Oh. Look at that baby there. I mean, I'm looking to my left and there's some lovely trees. Look at them. Look around. When I come here, oh, look at these beeches. Look at this big one. Now the girth on this one is as big as those dead beeches down the bottom, but this is obviously in its prime. That's a fantastic tree. But curiously as well, and I know this wood fairly well, I've not seen one tree preservation order on any of the trees in this woodland. There's a lot of holly understory here, and the lack of a small silver ring with a number which would normally denote a preservation order on a tree of age, is something I may well inquire into. And I've done that so far with some of the local oaks and Scotch pine near the reservoir at the bottom. I've been involved in trying to get some of those preserved. But I'm guessing as well, potentially, that if this is classed as semi-ancient natural, the whole woodland will be protected, not just individual trees. So I'm hoping that is the case, but hope and actual proof to say, oh, I'd love this protected, this is essential. And of course, the amount of carbon stored in this woodland as well, and the level of biodiversity is such that for the nation, these woodlands they're worth millions and millions, taking out the carbon and protecting our environment. Oh dear.